And with our first story that I have for you today, this is just not only one story that I have for you. What I am going to be talking about is going to be a combination of several stories to combine into what is possibly the biggest movie news story of the week, or maybe of the year or something like that. But this is absolutely major and very coincidental that all of them seem to happen in this one week. And it's even at the point where it was like one day after another that we would get like this announcement and then this announcement and then this announcement from several different studios. And what I am talking about, of course, is all the movie delays. Yes, every single movie that we know so far that were all originally meant to be released pretty soon, around like mid-2020 and stuff like that, have now been all moved to either late 2020 or even pushed back to 2021. Now, to go and start things off, I'm gonna go in chronological order, starting with the one who did it first, and then going all the way to the one who did it last that, as I am recording this, did it yesterday. So let's start things off with the first, and probably the one that did it the most drastic, which is Sony. Whoops, nope, that's not you. Sorry about that. I'll save you for later. Anyways, yes, it is Sony Pictures, in which what they have done is that they decided to go and take their summer lineup, take their most anticipated movies of the year, and pretty much move that all the way to 2021. So let me go and read you their list of the new movies that are going to be coming out now in 2021. And there are going to be several changes, and there are going to be a few movies, of course, that they decided to completely remove that from their schedule for now. And the first one, apparently, is Greyhound, which is the Tom Hanks World War II drama that was supposed to be coming out on July 12th. Not July, sorry, on June 12th. But apparently they decided to remove that from the schedule just in general, so we don't know when that's going to be coming out. And then there is Fatherhood, another drama, but this time starring Kevin Hart, I believe. Is that the case? Just need to double check. And yeah, just in case I didn't say it, this is from Variety that I'm using my source. Yes, it is a drama from Kevin Hart. And Fatherhood is the only one that actually moved up from its schedule, that it's going to be released earlier than planned, where originally it was supposed to be coming out on January 15th of 2021. Now it will be released this year on October 23rd. Then after that, it is Peter Rabbit 2, The Runaway. Now, the funny thing with Peter Rabbit 2 is that it already did get delayed, because I think it was supposed to be this week that it was supposed to be originally released. You can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it's either supposed to be now or like very, very soon that Peter Rabbit 2 was supposed to come out. But it looks like now they got delayed once again, where originally it was set for August 7th, but now it is going to be completely moved to January 15th of 2021, taking the original spot of Fatherhood. And then there is Sony's two big summer movies that they had scheduled, originally planned for this year. And I'm talking about Ghostbusters Afterlife and Morbius, which both of them were originally supposed to be coming out in July specifically. Ghostbusters was supposed to be out on July 10th, while Morbius was supposed to come out on July 31st. That is no longer the case, as they were both pushed all the way to March of 2021. Ghostbusters will now be released on March 5th, while Morbius will be out on March 19th. And because of that, this ultimately caused Uncharted to also get delayed, where it was originally in the place of Ghostbusters, but now that has to be moved to October 8th of 2021, completely taking the place of Sony's upcoming Marvel movie that a lot of people are presuming that maybe that one is something like maybe that one is Venom 2 or something like that. But for now, it looks like that one is going to be released. We honestly don't know. They removed that from the schedule, and we'll see in the future when they're going to be releasing that. Well, I don't know, but for now, I guess we'll just have to go and wait and see. But that is the entire new catalog of Sony movies. That's their latest lineup that they have so far, and it looks like they ain't gonna be offering much for the summer. But then, the following news that we do have is actually from Universal, which they decided to do the same thing, but not with all their movies and stuff like that, but only with a couple of Illumination films. Now, you guys may remember a few weeks ago when it was revealed that Minions: The Rise of Gru would end up getting delayed because, considering how serious the situation is in France, they could not finish post-production of Minions: The Rise of Gru. So, ultimately, what Universal decided to do is to delay the movie for an entire year. It was originally supposed to be scheduled for July 3rd, but now it's going to be completely moved to July 2nd of next year. And on top of that, that means they are also going to go and delay Sing 2, which was originally supposed to be released in the summer of 2021, but now they are going to go and move that to the Christmas of 2021, on December 22nd to be precise. And that ultimately means that for now, they got to remove their film adaptation of Wicked off of their schedule. And there is another side note that I would like to add in the case of Universal. Another delay that they have also done is regarding the upcoming Jordan Peele produced movie Candyman, which that one has a new schedule, I believe is going to be on September 25th, I believe. Yeah, it would be that, on September 25th. Now, following that, the next day, Paramount decided to step in and make their delays as well, to make their little announcements. However, unlike Sony Pictures, they didn't go drastic with their delays. They didn't go like full on serious to the point of like moving all their movies to like 2021 or something. All their films that they have originally planned for 2020 is still going to be released in 2020, but just a little bit later. Like, for example, Top Gun Maverick will no longer be released on June 24th, but now will be released on Christmas on December 23rd. While A Quiet Place 2, which was supposed to be released like a few weeks ago, is now going to be released on September 4th. And finally, a lot of people thought that it would be the only one that would stay there, but it looks like the SpongeBob movie Sponge on the Run is also going to be delayed, but very slightly. In fact, it's still going to be released in the summer, where it was originally planned for May 22nd, but now it is going to be completely moved to July 31st. And on top of that, which, by the way, this one is from The Wrap that I'm reading from here, and also my source from the Minions Rise of Gru story, that is from Deadline. But going back to Paramount, another thing that they have done as well is they decided to remove the release date of The Tomorrow War, which is directed by Chris McKay and starring Chris Pratt. And it originally had the place of Top Gun Maverick, but now it doesn't have a release date yet. And finally, one day later also, we got another one, and this time it is a real big one, Disney. And they had several movies that they had to delay and completely switch up their schedule for not just 2020 and 2021, but a little bit as well of 2022. You may remember how I talked a little bit before regarding the delay of Black Widow and how that could possibly really affect the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Well, it turns out I was completely right. And this time from my source here on CNBC, it looks like the new schedule now is going to be something a little bit like this. Now, the live-action remake of Mulan, which we were supposed to have that last week, is now going to be coming out on July 24th. Then we also got The French Dispatch has moved to October 16th. Then we got the next Marvel movie, Black Widow, is now going to be moved to November 6th. Then we also got Free Guy, the video game movie starring Ryan Reynolds. That is going to be moved to December 11th. Then we got a couple of movies that did not change their release dates, and they're still going to be around for the holiday season, which will include West Side Story, still released on December 18th, and The Last Duel, that's going to be coming out on Christmas Day. Then we got The Eternals, the Marvel movie after Black Widow, that's going to be coming out on February 12th. Then there is the Bob's Burgers movie coming out on April 9th of 2021. Then we also got Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings coming out on May 7th, 2021. Then we got Jungle Cruise, which was supposed to be out this July, but now has been delayed for an entire year on July 30th, 2021. Then we got Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness coming out on November 5th, 2021. Then going into the 2022s, we got Thor, Love and Thunder coming out on February 18th, Captain Marvel coming out on July 8th, and finally, the 5th Indiana Jones movie coming out on July 29th, 2022. And with that said, there is also 3 honorable mentions that I would like to bring up regarding some of the changes that have occurred or their current status of what is happening with them. First and foremost is the New Mutants, and unfortunately, that one does not have a release date yet, making the New Mutants one of the most unlucky movies of all time, considering the amount of delays that it had to go through. And then there is also Artemis Fowl, which that one will not have a release date ever. Instead, that one is actually going to be coming out on Disney+, which honestly, I think it's ultimately the right thing to do. Considering that Artemis Fowl, everybody knows that it was gonna flop at the box office anyways. Because the thing is, Disney always has that one oddball movie almost every year where they would come out with something original or based on a weird book or something like that, and it would always come out as a massive box office bomb. You know those kinds of films that I'm talking about. Stuff like Nutcracker in the Four Realms, A Wrinkle in Time, Tomorrowland, John Carter, and all that kind of stuff. And Artemis Fowl felt like it was one of those movies that would become, it would become one of those inevitable box office bombs. So probably the best thing to do is just release it on Disney+. And then finally, the third honorable mention, and probably the one that a lot of people really want to know, what's gonna happen to Soul, the upcoming Pixar film? And believe it or not, folks, Disney is taking a serious risk with Soul. Believe it or not, it ain't moving. It is still gonna be planned to be released on June 16th. That thing is staying, and Disney is taking a big gamble that maybe things are gonna be back to normal, so we'll see. If it works out, if things get a lot better and we don't have to do social distancing anymore by June, then I'm sure Disney is gonna really reap in the rewards when Soul would be released, and people are just gonna really hype themselves up to go back into the theaters and all that kind of stuff. It would really give people an excuse to go to the movie theaters, and if it works, then it's going to work tremendously for Disney and Pixar. But before I continue, though, there is one thing I would like to go and clarify regarding all these release dates, not just the ones from Disney, but also from Paramount, from Universal, and from Sony, is that not everything is set in stone. This is the release dates that they put out for now. We don't have a confirmation about when the coronavirus is going to be over. We don't know when this pandemic is going to end or how long it's going to last and stuff like that. Because worst case scenario, it could continue for another few more months. And if it's going to keep on going, then what's going to happen is that many of these schedules... Oh, excuse me. There we go. Just to make sure that the gas is all off of me. But anyways, going back to what I was talking about. Yes, right over here. The thing is, when it comes to many of these release dates, we don't know if the coronavirus is going to end anytime soon. I've said this many times before, but this is something that we do have to go and take one step at a time. And if things get worse and it's going to last longer than planned, then these schedules will have to be moved again. And whatever summer movies we would have, they would all have to be moved in the fall and even further to 2021 and all that kind of stuff. So take all this with a bit of a grain of salt. And on top of that as well, with all this, with all these, I know like some people are a little bit disappointed that many of their favorite films or many of their anticipated films are going to be delayed, but it's no longer movie studios that are in control of the movie schedule. It's the coronavirus that's taking all control right now. So with that said, now I know a lot of people may think that all these delays may be a little bit exaggerated, especially in the case of Sony, where they would go and take their entire summer lineup and decided to move that to 2021. But the thing is, to those people who think that the coronavirus is all exaggerated and people are reacting a little bit too harshly to the point that now all these movies are getting delayed and stuff like that, the thing is that the damage has already been done. I know that in North America, this is just beginning, and now we're at the point where the numbers are getting bigger and bigger, and it's getting a little bit more frightening. But the thing is, we've already seen a lot of damage, and we're already seeing the major consequences that did occur. And that is mainly because in these past few weeks, we have already seen these movies getting removed from their schedules and now being placed in another release date, especially in the case that we saw like with Mulan or with Black Widow or like what we just saw with like Top Gun or SpongeBob or Minions and all that kind of stuff. Because the thing is that it's not just a slight delay. This is a domino effect that is going to last for like a few years, where the consequences is going to have a really major long-term impact, where you would see like these movies, okay, so like you got one movie, it was supposed to be released in the springtime, but now you got to put it in the summer, but then you already got your movies that are in the summer and you got to move that to either in the fall or you got to like really push it back to sometime in the summer. Like you see where the domino effect, it goes from again and again and again and again. And this is really the case that we would see, especially with the Marvel movies. Because this year, we were supposed to have Black Widow and the Eternals. But because all that got delayed, now we're only going to get Black Widow for this year. And then Eternals got to move back to 2021. And then you also got the movies that are supposed to be in development, but due to COVID-19, like the productions are delayed and stuff. So that's why we see a lot more delays from stuff like Shang-Chi and then Doctor Strange. And then like all the other movies that are pushed to 2022, like Thor Love and Thunder and Captain Marvel 2. So we see the long-term consequences that this would go in effect. That it isn't just going to be happening during the time of the coronavirus. This is a long-term effect that would have some major consequences. And one thing that I will say, that among all these delays that I kind of feel very surprised about is actually regarding Sony's part. And I know that it's not necessarily the fact that they would go and delay all their movies to 2021. It's not really what they have delayed that shocked me. It's mostly regarding the one movie they did not delay. And that is actually Connected, their upcoming original animated film. Now, that I know that some people may say that it's still way too far. Like, it is during, it's going to be released sometime in mid-September or something like that. I know it seems a little bit too far to go and talk about or to consider to have it be delayed and stuff like that. But honestly, if I were Sony Pictures, I would actually go and consider to probably move that film as well. Because at this point, I know for a fact that when this whole pandemic is over, and by the time social distancing is no longer a necessary thing to go and practice, then at that point, the highly anticipated films that people are really going to go and watch are the ones that have been delayed. The ones that we were supposed to have like weeks or even months ago, but now we're having it right now, and like people are immediately gonna go and eat it up. That is why I'm gonna say this right now. I actually do have a very strong feeling that Mulan is going to be a big hit because of that. Or even Black Widow is also going to be a big hit, and this is going to be playing a major, major factor. And especially in the case of September, it is still going to be a big month for movies where you are going to see plenty of films that are going to be moved to September. And like, thanks to It and It Part 2, like, it is now considered a legitimate hotspot for movies. And like, we are already seeing a lot of films that are already moving to September, like A Quiet Place 2 and Candyman. And I know technically those films are aimed at a different audience than those that Connected is going after. But there is one film that I am keeping an eye on to see if that one is going to have a new release date and they decide to stick with 2020, and that is regarding Scoob. Now, we don't know yet if Warner Brothers has an idea of a new release date for Scoob, but I will say this. If they decided to release that in September, then it would immediately screw things up for Sony with Connected. Because I can guarantee you the hype will definitely be a lot more stronger for Scoob than it is Connected, and it would make it way too easy for that to get overshadowed. So for me, honestly, I feel like it would probably be a smart move that if they are going to go as far as delay stuff like Ghostbusters Afterlife and Morbius, then they should also go and delay Connected as well. I mean, that is the exact reason why they did delay Afterlife and Morbius in the first place. So I feel like the wise thing to do for Sony with their animated film is that they should also go and delay it to 2021. I know it does suck a little bit, but then again, I think it is for the best. Maybe so, or maybe they have a different tactic with it. Maybe they do have faith on that animated film, or maybe they don't. I don't know, but I'm just saying that if they want to maximize the profitability of Connected, then it would be wise to put that somewhere in 2021. I'm just saying. Maybe I'm wrong on this, but I don't know. At this point, I feel like with the movies that are going to be released that have been severely delayed, they will definitely overshadow the ones that did not move their release date. That at least that's my thinking piece of all this. But it really is crazy to see all these delays happening at once or all in 1 week, especially with Sony and then with Universal and then with Paramount and then also with Disney as well. But it really does highlight the long-term consequences that we are witnessing with the pandemic and how this is seriously affecting the film industry. I know it really does suck, but then again, it is probably for the best. It's honestly for the best to see, like, if we would have, like, these movies be delayed for a long time. And as I stated, considering that, like, the delay will probably be good for these movies because, like, people... Whoa, excuse me, the gas wants to return, but anyways, maybe it is good for these movies that, considering the delay, will make people more anticipated, like, now, oh, they gotta wait a little longer for it, and then by the time it comes out, like, people will make a big splash about it and all that kind of stuff. But for now, we'll just have to, we'll wait and see with how things are going. So yeah, we do have to wait a little bit, but who knows? It's just, honestly, it's just crazy to see all these delays and how they really are affecting the movie industry right now, especially not just at one point, like not just for 2020, but even for like the following years to come, like how it affected 2021 and also how it affected 2022. I mean, like, and it's not just movies as well that are doing this. I mean, like, we recently have heard that the Olympics are doing the same thing, where the Tokyo Olympics were supposed to be happening this year, but now they are going to be happening sometime in the start of the fall of 2021, like between August and September, I believe. So it's not just it's not just the movies, but also there are plenty of other things that had to be severely delayed as well. So, with all that said now that I have mentioned all this, it is now time that I want to go and pass on to the chat wall, and I want to ask, what do you all think about all this? What do you all think about the delays? Do you think it's for the best? Are you guys more disappointed about this? And which movies do you feel more shocked than anything else about what got released? Alright, so let me know what you all think, and I need some water. And so far, I will say, things are going good so far with the live stream. Okay, I think things are going okay. It's going safely now. Alright, so anyways, back to where I am here. Let's see here. I'm mostly going to talk about SpongeBob Sponge on the Run delay because I swear last week when Scoop got delayed, I predict that this would be next in line. They are all good choices, especially for SpongeBob, since that was slated for a time where all the movie theaters are closed. As for my next guess for what animated feature will be delayed, I can't really see Soul staying in his slot, but then we might have to sacrifice Raya. Yeah, that's kind of the big thing. Because right now, if I may put in a little bit of my commentary on the coronavirus in this state, it does look like the best case scenario is that things are going to slowly start to get back to normal at the beginning of June. Where April is going to be a bit of a nightmare month where in North America especially, we are going to see the numbers climb up tremendously. And then May will be the month where the numbers are going to start to really go down, and we got to be a lot more serious about social distancing so that we want to make sure the numbers keep going down and stuff like that. And then when June comes, that's when things are going to get better and we can ease on social distancing and stuff like that. However, at the same time, this is just a little bit of a prediction, and that is the best case scenario. The worst case scenario would be that they would go and continue where it's going to keep getting worse and worse for months. And yes, it will indeed continue by June, which Disney would have no choice but to delay Soul onto November, and then they would have to move Raya and The Last Dragon to sometime in 2021. That's at least my prediction with what's going to be happening with that so far. So you do bring up a good point with that. Alright, anyways, let's see. I'm worried that several of these new dates might be a bit too soon. I mean, what if the virus is still at its worst in the middle of this year or near the end? At one point, someone even said the virus will last for 18 months. I can guarantee that many of these films might flop if they aren't properly checked. Even if it's safe to walk out again, people will still be cautious or worried, especially in large crowded areas. I know those companies need the money sooner or later, but it's still risky. I mean, I know. That's why I pretty much said at the beginning that we have to wait a little bit for now to see how things are going to go. That's why I pretty much stated that all these release schedules have to be taken with a little bit of a grain of salt. Because if things still continue, if things still get worse, then those release dates have to be delayed again. And maybe these studios have to do the same thing like Sony, and they got to move a lot of their movies onto 2021. That could possibly be the case so far. And maybe it's going to last 18 months, maybe it's going to last a couple of months. But for now, what we do know is that we have to take it one step at a time. We do have to look into the future about what's going to happen, but we cannot look way too much in the future because at that point, we just don't know what's going to happen. We don't know if in July things are going to get better or if things are going to get worse or if things are still going to be the same. We just have to ultimately wait and see. And with the 18 months thing, maybe like that could be possible. But then again, I did hear, I think some people said that the 18 months thing would be until we would ultimately find a vaccine for COVID-19. That could be the case. I don't know. But again, this is something that we have to take one step at a time. Let's see now. I'm disappointed that this happened, but this is for the best. I'm definitely hoping the MCU is going to be fine, and also with Sony in terms of Sony, they do still have the Monster Hunter movie in September and Venom 2 in October. Also, it makes me wonder what's going to happen with the Marvel TV shows coming to Disney Plus. Well, I know for a fact that the Disney Plus shows are going to be delayed because technically those shows, their production is completely halted due to this pandemic. So, of course, those ones are going to be delayed to later in 2021 and continuing on in 2022. And, oh, okay, maybe, okay, I thought, honestly, I thought the one for October 2021 is the Venom 2 one, but maybe that could be the case. And, yeah, they haven't changed those at all, but I guess we'll have to wait and see. But then again, I'm honestly pretty surprised we have yet to actually have a trailer for any of those yet. Maybe we will soon, but honestly, it's pretty surprising. It's like, like the Venom, like the Monster Hunter, and I forgot, like, is Venom 2 going to be coming out this year? I honestly don't know. But yeah, Monster Hunter is one of those that's like, oh yeah, that's going to be a thing. I completely forgot about it. All right, but anyways, let's see. I'm the most shocked that the Jungle Cruise got delayed by a year instead of a couple of months. I think the case is that Disney is really banking on the Jungle Cruise to be a major summer blockbuster. They really are dedicated to have that be a summer blockbuster and not just be like a fall movie or anything like that. And considering that in the case of Disney, they decided to put Mulan close to the original release date of the Jungle Cruise, they decided to have Mulan be the big summer movie and then just have Jungle Cruise be the big summer movie of 2021. That seems to be their big plan right now, but I think it's more Disney's dedication to have Jungle Cruise be a major summer blockbuster. Okay, let's see here. These delays will not hurt all these movies. Mostly the companies will get hit. Sony for the Marvel movies and Disney because a plan so far ahead, but now they don't know what to do, and they could have done a Disney Plus release for the movie Black Widow since it already done all the other ones, have a bigger budget and actually done theatrically. I just hope that these delays are long enough they could put the finishing touches on the movies that they needed to. Well, it really does depend on which ones you really are talking about, because yeah, there are some movies that some people can work at home, but then again, there are some things that they do need some finishing touches that they have to work at a studio for. That's basically why Minions: The Rise of Gru has been delayed for an entire year, because for now, the shops in France where they would make the Illumination movies, they're all closed down. They can't do anything for now. So maybe when things maybe when things get back to normal again, maybe like it would give filmmakers enough time to go and put in finishing touches on their works. But the thing is that yeah, they would go and maybe it could be beneficial, or maybe it could be a little bit of a problem. And as for the comment about the Disney Plus releases, I know that there are a lot of people out there that might think like, oh, why don't companies do a little bit like with Trolls World Tour, and they would go and release that onto streaming services and stuff like that? Why wouldn't Disney go and put, why wouldn't Disney go and put Black Widow or Mulan onto Disney Plus like they're doing with Artemis Fowl? Well, number one, they would guarantee to lose money. Like, they already invested literally hundreds of millions of dollars onto those films, so it wouldn't financially be a smart idea. And two, that would really piss off the movie theaters. Like, as I stated before, movie theaters absolutely hate it when they would release movies onto streaming services and stuff like that instead of the big screen. Ooh, excuse me. Instead of the big screen. They would be massively upset about it because they're in that, like, especially now, they're always in that paranoia state where they feel like the next day they would disappear from the face of the earth and that streaming services would immediately take their place, giving people no reason to go to the big screen. So it's something that is highly discouraged by movie theaters, and they're the ones that are in control of having movies be released where they want it to. Like, maybe not for Netflix, but Like, they definitely have, like, Sony, Universal, Paramount, and Disney by the collar on that one. Let's see now. As much as I'm disappointed that multiple movies are being delayed, I will always respect every studio's decision, and fun fact, since Minions 2 is delayed until next year, it's not the first time Illumination had missed a year. Last time they did miss 2014, which that year didn't have a lot of animation studio names. For example, no Pixar film in 2014, no Sony Animation in 2014, and the only big name that I can think of is Disney Animation and DreamWorks Animation, if you really think about it. Yeah, I know, it is true 2014 was kind of a weird year for animation, considering that a lot of studios decided to not put out a movie during that time. It was a little bit strange, but I mean, like, it definitely, as you stated, it is true that it's definitely for the best. Let's see, what else do we got here? I'm disappointed that this happened, but this is for the best. Again, I'm definitely hoping the MCU is going to be fine, and also with Sony in terms of... Oh, wait. Oh, never mind. I think I already read that one. I already got deja vu. Okay, anyways. I'm disappointed that the animated films ended up getting delayed, especially to the Bob's Burgers movie. However, this is a good move to see studios to move their dates over, and hopefully the virus will end by either the summer or winter. And you know, honestly, I'm just going to say this right now. I honestly have a feeling in the case of Bob's Burgers, like with or without the coronavirus, that probably would have been delayed, because for a long, like, the only time that I have heard about the Bob's Burgers movie was just the announcement, and that's it. Other than that, I haven't heard Disney doing any, like, I haven't heard anything about the Bob's Burgers movie. I mean, sure, like, maybe a lot of the news got overshadowed by the whole Disney-Fox merger and stuff like that, but, like, you would think that at this point, or sometime before the coronavirus would happen, that we would already gotten at least, like, either an image or even, like, a teaser trailer of the Bob's Burgers movie, or even get, like, a title for now. Like, even here, like, even on CNBC, like, they're just labeling it as Bob's Burgers, and that's it. So I feel like with or without the coronavirus, this would have happened in the case of Bob's Burgers. Let's see now. I'll go and read one more before we're going to jump on to our next story. Let's see. I think it's too late for Mulan. Just put the movie on Disney Plus so people can watch for free and video on demand for those who want to pay to see it. Although considering how much bad publicity the movie has gotten, I'm not expecting it to make any money at the box office, so Disney should just cut their losses and put the movie on Disney Plus. It's the smartest move right now. Honestly, I understand about how you feel about the controversies, and I mean, like, it's unavoidable. I know that it's, like, it's unavoidable to talk about Mulan without bringing up the controversies that it went through, especially with the Hong Kong protests and stuff like that. But I might have to disagree, and you might be shocked that I got a good feeling that Mulan is going to be a major hit. And Disney is going to make sure that it's going to be like a major motion picture event, because the thing is, you got to keep in mind that Disney has invested a really stupid amount of money. I think I heard it's like close to $300 million on the budget alone. So they're not going to go and, like, just throw it onto Disney Plus. They will do everything they can to make it as big as some of their other Disney live action remakes. Like, they want to make sure that movie surpasses $1 billion at the box office. And to be honest, after going through the whole coronavirus and stuff like that, there are going to be a lot of people that will completely forget about all those controversies, and they'll just go and check out Mulan. We were supposed to have it, like I said, we were supposed to have it like a week ago, but now at this point, like, Mulan, like, at this point, we have to wait until July. So I think, honestly, with the delays, like, it's going to build up the anticipation for Mulan, and it would definitely give a reason for people to go out and go to the big screen to check out something that they were supposed to have months ago. So honestly, I'm sorry, but I have to disagree with you, dude. I actually do feel like Mulan is going to be a big hit, with or without the controversy.